I just want to observe that it being 1:05, it's been now more than 14 hours over 4 days that the Liberal MPs on this committee have been filibustering, drowning on for hours and hours and hours on a very simple motion to have the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Katie Telford, testify before this committee on Beijing's interference. It really begs the question, what does this Prime Minister have to hide? How much longer are you guys across the way going to continue this? Let's get it to a vote. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Point of order.
Point of order, Mr. Turnbull.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been patiently listening to the wonderful speeches and all the thoughtful input from colleagues. I just wanted to ask for clarifications as to the relevance of the last comment made by Mr. Cooper. I believe that we're actually debating the amendment and not the original motion, which he didn't refer to the amendment at all, which doesn't include Ms. Telford or anybody else that he referenced. So I just wanted to ask for clarification on relevance.
So I will, and I do see Mr. Barrett, and I will also go to Mr. Garrettson. I will just say that we have leniency here. You know, we've just listened from Mr. Long, we've heard from others, and there is some leniency. And so as long as we're coming back to the purpose of it, I do think it's important that we provide that leniency. Mr. Barrett.
For more than 2.5 hours, Madam Chair, Liberal members have talked about everything from their time in college to their time overseas to all kinds of nonsense unrelated to this very simple motion without a single interruption from members of the opposition. I appreciate that Mr. Turnbull might just be rolling out of bed. Mr. Cooper spoke for 30 seconds. So now that Mr. Turnbull's had his intervention, he can go back to sleep. But we've been here listening to this for 2.5 hours. So let's be judicious on when we want to chime in with those points of order, because we could just call the question, end the cover-up, have the vote, and find out what the Liberals are trying to hide, or we can listen for another 2.5 hours to more filibustering.
On that point of order?
And Mr. Garrettson, as I mentioned, I will come to you. I think it's challenging for me in this spot when I think, Mr. Baird, I would have agreed with you entirely. But I think sometimes when it comes to just the extra commentary, it's not necessary. And I say that to everyone equally. So I would just say when it comes to relevance, I think we've all demonstrated leniency. I do agree that we should be judicious with the points of order and that it's important that members get to speak. Mr. Garrettson.
Just on this point of order, Madam Chair, only probably about a year and a half ago, I witnessed Mr. Barrett speak about train robbers and store clerks from the 1800s in the House of Commons for 45 minutes, and the Speaker agreed that what he was contributing was indeed relevant. So I hope that you take into consideration the leniency and the fact that the rules that we have within this House very much are supposed to follow those from, within this committee are supposed to follow those from the House. So I hope that would be a consideration.
I think what's clear is that sometimes as the chair, perhaps rather than trying to seek consensus, I should have just gone with my feeling, recognizing that a health break was needed. So with that, I am going to suspend the meeting for 10 minutes and encourage you to take a health break, encourage you to stretch and do whatever you need to do so that we can continue with the functional meeting, because it is a very important topic that we're discussing. We'll see you back in 10 minutes. Thank you.